Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Kool-Aid Podcast here. As you can see, we got some new faces around here today. We got Kenny, our boy, and we have the usuals, Elias and Alvaro.
What's
Off
up,
the bat,
guys?
guys, what a win today. Massive, massive game. Now, I wouldn't say it was our best performance, but nonetheless, it got us the results. And, I thought a win's a win, especially in the Copa del Rey. We're one step closer to winning more silverware with Xavi. Let me know where your thoughts are, guys.
Let the
You
guys.
want to start or what?
Let him cook. Let him cook.
All right, I knew you guys were gonna start off. Well, thank you guys for having me on the podcast. It's nice to have an outlet to speak Barca with.
Always.
Let's just go ahead and hop into the performance today. Overall, the team was kind of shaky. We kind of got lucky with the red card and the 39th minute.
Yeah,
man.
it was before
around
halftime.
there.
I kind of wish personally that we would see more offensive output, maybe 2 or 3 goals, but we got the one goal from Dembele, who was definitely player of the match. I don't know about you guys.
For sure, by far.
But we said it perfectly. We're one step closer to another trophy with Xavi, and as long as Xavi keeps getting these results, I don't care how it comes, as long as we get the results.
Okay.
Now, look. We've been talking about it for a while in this podcast. Our winger situation has been a mess because we're always rotating Fati, Rafinha, Ferran Torres. We need consistency. And then Bele, I don't care if he has a crappy game the next one. He has shown quite a bit the last couple of games, and today he carried that offense. He carried everything. He even dropped back a little bit at some points. I will say the second MVP of the game will be Ter Stegen, but it, Dembele by far was number one. And I mean, not only first of all that his goal, he did that like nice pass by Conde. He did it all by himself, like un cañón to the goal.
That's what he's got to do every single time, dude.
Bro, and what a game from Kunde as well, man. Bro,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guy,
He had a good
the
performance.
guy that just like on the ball, bro, like he just oozes like so much confidence. And we have to think we got this guy for like 50 million. And then when you see like other clubs, for example, like Chelsea, just spending.
We took him from Chelsea.
That's true. That's
And
true.
And Christensen, yeah, Christensen has been like amazing. What's it called? It's just that those two additions with Araujo and the emergence of Balde, bro, that back line is looking so solid.
Dude,
Such
I
an
keep
improvement
I
from
keep
before.
saying it. I keep saying it. I know Conde has publicly said that his preferred position is center back. That Frenchman connection down the right, it's worked. Conde Dembele, it's worked. So I mean, I say Xavi keeps trying it out and see how it goes. And look, now that you put up the 11, Gavi playing left wing. I mean, we all know that he wasn't playing like a natural left wing. He was a little bit more like in the middle. But with how inconsistent Fati and Rafinha have been, maybe he can rock that out for a La Liga game and see how it works.
No, this lineup. Okay, so this is how Barcelona lined up. Basically, I basically said like this lineup, except with the addition of Ter Stegen. Alex and I, we were debating on like, hey, should Iñaki Peña be starting this game, for example? But because it's the Copa del Rey, and usually our second goalkeeper usually plays in this competition. But Xavi decided to go for Ter Stegen. Completely fine. But this is a lineup that I think is best suited for the big games. For example, in the games against the tough teams where you know that's going to be very tough and we're going to need a lot of the ball. This with that 4-man midfield, I think that gives us a lot of control and allows us to dominate. Well, do you guys agree?
I also think before I gave my opinion, I wanted to say we were talking about our defense. I personally think Barcelona right now probably has the best progressive play when coming from the defense to the attack in the world. Definitely in La Liga, but definitely maybe even in the world. Just because you see how well the defense can move it. Obviously, it's a Barcelona team. The defense has to play from the back well. It's a given, especially under Xavi. But you see how the fullbacks, especially wide, they can carry the attack well and they can track back and defend as well, which is a criticism of modern day fullbacks that not all can do. For example, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's phenomenal up top, but defensively he leaves a lot to be
Uh-huh.
desired.
hmm
And then you have players who more or less fit the role, like Reece James, but still they come far and few in between. And I think our fullbacks are good right now, even though Conde, like we said, isn't a natural fullback. And yeah, our center back pairing I think has been phenomenal. Christensen is a more composed player on the ball, can play out the back wall, and Araujo is just sheer one-on-one
Yeah.
defending. If you need to stop the attack, you get him.
Yeah. No, yeah, and then, like this back line has like a mixture of everything. I think it's like
Yeah.
perfectly like balanced
Yes.
and everything. You have Baldi in there with like that extreme like burst of pace,
The
who's able to,
Yo,
athleticism.
when
yeah,
Baldi cuts down the middle and
exactly.
he
Oh
takes
my
to
god,
like
like,
six
those
people,
runs that
he's
he's able to
nice.
do,
He's
those
nice.
runs exactly,
And
and
another thing, we are talking about Araujo. I don't know if you guys saw. I forgot what minute. It was like minute 20 something of the first half. In one play, one of the Sociedad players went. It was like a 1-on-1, and the guy tried to like hold Araujo back. He still from the shutout room,
Yeah.
and the guy tried pulling his shirt down. They called the
yeah,
foul against him. You can't take Araujo down. He's a wall,
yeah, yeah,
and
and
Yeah.
he's
Strong dude.
gonna be the captain of that defense.
Yep.
So
yeah, and now
he's
what's it called?
something.
That duel between Sorloth, the and Araujo, that was a very physical battle because both of them like are big
Yeah,
players.
they're tall, big dudes. No, for sure. And
Exactly.
one thing I wanted to say, going back on Balde, I said this before, and maybe it's not the best comparison because they're both young players, but he reminds me a bit in the play style to Alfonso Davies,
Yeah.
a player that likes cutting in, likes making the
Yeah.
run, and he's very physical. Obviously, Davies is a stronger player, and I dare say he's faster. But when you look at the way they play, they always track back, they always stay on their defensive duties. And real quick before I hand it over to you guys again, I wanted to say when you look at the four-man midfield, I think this gives Barcelona a similar stability to what it had in the Xavi and Iniesta era. And the reason I say this is because, well, Gavi and Pedri are still far from reaching that level of greatness, and they still have a lot of experience to get there. But you have players you in that midfield. You also have a good mixture of not only quality but experience. You have Busquets,
Yeah.
in my opinion, the best five to ever play the game. Completely changed what it means to be a center defensive midfielder, and he gives the team composure. Can play the ball when it's in a
He
situation.
slows it down.
It's like he doesn't make a
Yeah.
bad pass. You know, everything he does
Yeah.
seems to flow. And then with Pedri, you have a more creative, more forward minded midfielder who can play the through ball, who can make the ping, the cross, and then you have Gavi who essentially I wouldn't
He's
say
really he's the hothead.
yeah, no, I wouldn't say he's a box to. No, the only reason I wouldn't say he's a box to box midfielder is because he tends to have more of a free role in that midfield. He doesn't really have a set position, and I think that's a good thing because then that also gives the young some room to double pivot with Busquets. And I just think that this midfield is so dominant. If we use anything else than it against a good team, we will lose. It's so strong right now.
Hmm. I would say you can go for the three-man midfield, but it would have to because like we like debated this often. Should De Jong be that sole pivot? Because, for example, in the game against Villarreal at home, I think it was before the World Cup break, Xavi was testing Frankie De Jong in that position, and we played fantastic. And then we followed up, I think, with the four-man midfield in Atletico Bilbao. Xavi likes to play Busquets, and if we play with Busquets, it has to be in that double pivot because Busquets, as the sole pivot, what's it called? He just doesn't have the legs anymore. Um, and his performances, yes, today I thought he played an amazing game. But so far throughout this season, we have seen that yes, he can put in some very good performances, but those performances come like far between. And I think the best player on the pitch was Ousmane Dembele by a mile. By a mile, I think he was where all of our attacking threat came from. I would also like to say that De Jong had a very good game. We
Mhm.
saw some flashes of brilliance from Gavi, some good distribution from Ter Stegen. Albeit like towards the later of the later in
Yep.
the game.
But then he made up with it. He made up
Yeah,
for it.
exactly. He basically made up for it because like
Yeah.
he
He was
gave
just
the ball.
bored. He was just bored. He wanted
He
to
was
do
just
something.
bored.
Look, I'm gonna say this, and this is not being because I'm a Barca fan. Ter Stegen might be one of the better one-on-one goalies in the world.
The one on
Yes,
one.
yes, but he lacks in other areas. I was thinking that when I was watching it, when he made that save, in my head, I'm like, if he's in a one-on-one scenario, he might be the best goalie in the world. But when it comes to distributing the ball, like we saw, and coming out, that's his main thing. When he comes out for corners, I don't know. There's something
Oh yeah.
He's very
about the
shy.
way he's
And
Yeah.
very shy.
you would think that being under Neuer's wing for so many years,
Right? Yeah.
you would think so. And yeah, that's interesting to point out because I mean that's probably his greatest weakness. But before we leave the topic of the former midfield, the only way that midfield works is with a strong attack. And if Dembele can be consistent with how good we know Lewandowski can be, I'm not saying they're gonna play two strikers up. They're gonna continue the 4-3-3. But if they can have Dembele and Lewandowski up top being consistent with that format midfield, that could be an information for Barca. So,
See, but once again, you don't need to have that format midfield. For example, when you're going away to like Rayo Valladolid or
yeah,
Elche,
no,
for
no, yeah,
example.
I mean the big games. I mean like
Yeah,
big
yeah.
games.
In the big games, I'm pretty sure like this is the formation and system that Xavi is working with. And as we continue playing these games, it's gonna have like the automatic movement. Like the players are gonna know like how to move within that system. Um, but
Yeah,
in the game as a whole, I would say that actually Barcelona played in the first half. In the first half, Barcelona played well.
Mhm.
They played much better than in the game against Getafe, for example, in the weekend. But we didn't put the chances away. We had a lot of chances.
Should have been like 3-0.
Exactly. It should have been 3-0, something like that. But we didn't lack that finishing edge. And then in the second half, when Bryce Mendes got that red card, which I thought it was a complete red card. That challenge just basically
yeah, it was
he
intentional.
studs
Mhm.
up, studs up on Busquets, a player who like Gil Manzano. I thought Gil Manzano was going to say an awful today, but before that red card. But when a player goes in like that, it's like an automatic red card. You have to send him off.
Of course, it
But
was the
in this,
referee.
yeah, exactly. But in that second half, when Real Sociedad got that red card, you saw a different game. Just because now instead of Real Sociedad like pressing a little bit much higher and like being more attack minded, they basically closed off, defended and block, and then like hit Barcelona on the counter. And then that's why also maybe we scored that early goal from Ousmane Dembele, which lowered the intensity. And then
But I
Barcelona,
think I was gonna say I think that goal comes even with 11 men. The way it was set up, the way
Mhm.
the pass came,
Yeah.
I think even
oh
with
no, yeah,
so
no, no,
no sorry, go
I
ahead.
no, I definitely agree that the goal was coming just because in that first half, like we saw that Barcelona was like having the offensive, like it was just a matter of time before Barcelona scored. Um, but then you saw like towards the later in the second half, Real Sociedad were like piling on the pressure, and then like towards like the end of the game, you saw like a couple like key saves from Ter Stegen,
Yeah.
and just like some defending where like the game was getting nervy, and Barcelona didn't know how to close out the game.
I think Barcelona's biggest problem right now, and they've been showing it, is their finishing. Their attack has been extremely weak, and that's saying that we have Lewandowski up there. But the problem is Lewandowski performs like he does what he needs to do. I mean, he's the top scorer in La Liga, and I think he's been clutch with his scoring. The main problem, like I said, with the attack is also we don't have wingers. Barcelona does not operate without wingers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what team play without wingers? Spain. When they were in 2010, 2012.
Yeah,
That was a different team.
yeah.
Barca lacks it, and they've lacked them for a few years. You know, they have players like Alexis Sanchez, they have players like David Villa who could operate in the middle or in the wing. They have Pedro, and those were never super key players aside from Villa, but still, you know, they filled in that role much better than their current players do. And it's something important because yes, the four-man midfield is good, but you said, but Alvaro, I believe Alvaro was the one that said it that if we don't score it, it doesn't mean anything, and it's true.
Uh-huh.
Um, Dembele, unfortunately, is a terrible finisher. I'll say it because it's true. Like
Yeah.
he got a shot on target today, and thankfully the goalie made a mistake. Didn't
Mm.
really stop. It was a well placed shot, but still,
no,
like
because
It's just
the goalie was anticipating a cross to Lewandowski.
of course, but
yeah.
he still I think he still should have stopped it.
That power off that shot was
That's
insane.
true. That's true. But anyways,
He would have had to palm the shit
yeah,
out of
It
him.
would have had to hit it
it was
like the
hard.
bottom of his palm and like
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
No,
like it
it's
was
a
a
hard
tough.
block, but still, be it as it may, I think well Dembele not a great finisher. What he does is great though. What Dembele does when he's on his game,
Yeah,
like
but that's a problem. Like that's a problem because if we rely on Ousmane Dembele,
no, it's
and
terrible. No consistency.
exactly, there's no consistency. I always like to bring up this basically like this analogy that you basically play you're with Ousmane Dembele, you're playing Russian roulette. One day he can be like amazing, like for example, like today he has like the dribbling of Messi, but the finishing of Lukaku, like in a player in one player because you saw like some of the plays that he was doing it like tonight were amazing. He was doing by 2-3 players or something, but then when he gives the shot, it's like a P roller to the goalkeeper or like out wide. It
Mm.
just like
Yeah.
he has those moments of like moments of brilliance follows with like disappointment.
But you
Um,
know what? You know what? I think at the end of the day, that's not important because the assists that he provides and the crosses, like for example, today he provided two or three key passes. One that the young missed right in front of goal because he
Mhm.
slid at the wrong time. There was some other good plays that he was making in the area, and he's just a threat. Like he's an annoying player to play against because he's so quick, he dribbles so well, and he can get anything. You give him an inch, and he can just get by you. And again,
And
he just yeah,
I was gonna say overall, he just even with the finishing problems, he makes the team just 10 times
exactly.
better.
It's a much more offensive minded team.
Yeah.
Now, I do think, and we gotta remember this: the 4-man midfield is a temporary thing. Busquets is not gonna be here forever. He will most
Yeah.
likely leave next season.
Inter Miami.
Yeah, yo, what's it called? We actually had a chance to look at Zubamendi today, because Barcelona is linked with Zubamendi. And what do you guys think of him? Because I thought he played well. I didn't see anything spectacular. But once again, I'm not gonna base one game and just say like, hey, should he be coming to Barcelona or not? Xavi's a big fan of him, and so far the signings that Xavi has made, most of them have worked out and have shown the fruit. Like, what do you guys make of that?
We're talking about their CDM, right?
Yeah, so Zubamendi. Yeah, but Barcelona's linked with him. He's a very young player. Let me see how old he is.
He's in his mid to late 20s.
Yeah,
he's 23.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
super young player.
Yeah.
Playing that CDM position, he's having a very good season at the moment.
To be completely honest with you, I think yes. Like, sure, get him. We need CDMs, but at the same time, I don't think a CDM is the first thing we should be looking for, because we technically already have options within the team right now. We have
We need a
the
winner.
young, and if we really feel like it, we can put someone like Kessie. Although that's not really, he hasn't been at all there, but he's still a quality player.
No, but what's it called? Like Barcelona has been saying, like their key target is like a CDM and like fullbacks, because right now the January transfer window, there's links between like Kessie and like Inter Milan with
Yeah, I've seen that too.
with Brozovic. Yeah, first of all, I don't even know why Inter would do that, just because like Brozovic, I think he's much more suited, and he's a key player for Inter. I see no reason why they let him go. And on top of that, Busquets is leaving at the end of the season, most likely. And that's in that CDM role. Other than, for example, like Frankie de Jong, who's going to be playing in that position? And I don't think that Xavi is like even like 100% convinced by Frankie de Jong in that sole pivot role.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's not his position. I think De Jong, I don't think at the end of the day he's a CDM. I really don't, because you see the way he moves, the way he dribbles. He's more of an 8. He's more of a box-to-box midfielder. He likes going up. He likes defending. I just don't think he's suited for that role. That's why when he plays with Busquets, he can look good because he can do his thing. He can go up. He doesn't have to worry so much about helping out the defense like that. Although he does drop back, I just don't think he's ready for that mentally.
Right, and I think that's why I kind of agree with Elias. I think we should give Zubamendi a look, maybe in this January window or in the summer window. I see transfer markets got him here at 40 million valued. Probably means that we would have to offer 50, 60 for him.
Yeah, around there. It's rumored around like what, like total, like we have to pay his release clause, which is like I think like it's like 65 million.
Which even then, like, I don't know. I would have to see like what else we finish out the season.
We gotta realize that in the winter transfer window, Barca's very limited because of fair play and all that crap. I know. So they're better off just holding off for now and waiting.
No, yeah. On top of that, like Xavi has said, number one, he views like going on what Alex said. He views Frank de Jong as an inside midfielder. He doesn't view him as a CM, so that's why he doesn't play him in that position. And second,
you can tell when. Yeah, go ahead.
No, and secondly, Xavi has said that he doesn't need any signings in January. So the big signings that we're gonna make is gonna be in the summer.
Right.
But so before we round off, guys, who was your man of the match, and like match rating? Like, what do you guys make of the game?
Well, I think I speak for everyone when I say Ousmane Dembele for today as man of the match.
Yeah,
100%.
I completely agree. The guy was unplayable.
If I would give you a match rating, I give you a 7.5. Like, yes, we won. And, I don't think it was the best performance, but it's what I'm saying. We should have put 4 past them, 3 or 4 past them. Like, the chances we had, we missed a lot of chances. And that's against a good team, that's something we got to watch out for, because if we lose them, we're not going to get them back.
Yeah. I definitely agree that we should have put 3 or 4 past them. But again, I stand by. We are a team that we're getting results, and as long as we keep getting them, if this was a Barcelona of the old, where we were
Like last
on and
season,
off,
yeah.
right? But this season, we've shown that we just consistently get results,
Mhm.
and hopefully, we just build on this and play better next game. And then in the semis, do you know who we might be going against?
The draw is going to be on Monday.
It's a draw.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. I can't believe this. Well, I can believe it, but Osasuna beat Sevilla 2-1.
That's
And
crazy.
Well, I
Sevilla,
mean, yeah, Sevilla's
Sevilla has been awful this
That's
season.
crazy.
They're currently fighting for relegation.
Is it also not like top 7 or top 8? Or they fall off?
Oh, so Suna, yeah, they're in 7th. I think.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They're in 7th.
That's crazy.
Sevilla is
They
like
sold.
1 point off of relegation right now. It's unbelievable. Like the fair play rules, losing their best center backs just like completely demolished them, and the problems going on in Sevilla and everything.
Yeah, but I don't think that. I don't know.
Exactly.
Listen, not everyone can be Chelsea and waste $2 billion on a player.
That's fair.
My God, the money that Chelsea are spending. Like,
All of that's just to lose because that
How-
team is.
How long do you think in years it's going to take for that to like come and bite them in the butt for Chelsea?
No. See, no. Here's
A
the
season
problem.
or two.
First of all, what Todd Bowley is doing is he's like paying these deals over like many years. For example,
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's good, like 10-year contracts.
yeah,
and
like
stuff
a 10-year contract to pay like $100 million. So, for
You
example,
know why?
the problem with that is like
he's American. He thinks in American sports.
yeah, like for example,
You
like,
can't do
like-
that in soccer.
exactly when you're basically giving like a 20-something-year-old a 10-year contract. No, because like if he
That's never gonna
flops,
happen.
it doesn't work.
But
You're
that's
still gonna be paying it like 10 years down the
Chelsea
road.
is notorious for players flopping.
Yeah.
So you have. I'm gonna go and say this. People are gonna disagree. Kai Havertz. I
and
think
he's been the best of the
He's been-
recent. Yeah.
Timo Werner, Lukaku,
Werner
Ooh.
back home.
No,
Arjen
the list
Robben.
is long.
Arjen
The list-
Robben. Before we forget,
Oh yeah.
Mo
Mohamed
Salah, De
Kevin De
Bruyne.
Bruyne.
These players, world-class
Listen,
players, couldn't.
Because Chelsea, I think
Yo, imagine Chelsea.
they
with
suffer.
DeBruyne
They
and Salah,
suffer
bro.
from a rare condition of weird coaches, like not even bad coaches, because
No,
they
bro,
had-
those coaches are bro, they have like a life like a average
Listen.
of being there like for 16, 17
no,
months.
no, because every few years they'll get a coach that wins something with them, like
Tuchel.
Jose Mourinho, Conte, or
Yeah.
someone like Thomas
Like, it's an
Tuchel.
anomaly.
Yeah, but they have
But-
bad coaching.
But then those guys that win the trophies, they're like the biggest characters, like Jose
Yeah.
Mourinho and,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Tuchel.
Exactly.
Yeah, I remember at the beginning of the season actually the fight between Conte and Tuchel. That was hilarious.
Dude, I was so
Oh,
excited
yeah.
to see the return fixture, and then
Well, you guys know I'm a Spurs fan, so I was happy when that happened.
But yeah, definitely.
But match rating, I would say 7.5 because we keep
7.5?
seeing improvement from purely from Dembele.
Uh-huh.
I think that's
Mhm.
what made the match a little more enjoyable.
Okay.
But
Okay.
I
I
would-
would actually. You
Don't
wanna
go
go
ahead.
first. Okay. I'll go first. And then Kenny will follow along. I would actually give Barcelona an 8 because first of all, we played better than we did. I think this is the second best performance since the Real Madrid game. I thought the game against Atletico, the game against Getafe, like these games, they were very grindy. They were very like slow games. Barcelona didn't play the best football. And we have to think this is the third best team in Spain at the moment. They basically won their last 9 games. They were on fantastic run of form, and Barcelona just basically like ran them off the park in the first half. But once again, it's not a 9 or a 10 just because that second half it gave me some doubts. But man of the match, Ousmane Dembele, match rating an 8.
yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy him too. I'm gonna say 8. But my reasons is one, obviously, just again, like I've been saying this whole episode, results, and two,
Yeah. Mhm.
even though we only scored the one, this is like this Barca team. This whole year has been proving me right in my head is we're not just relying on one person anymore.
Yeah.
Post Messi, like that was the main gripe with our team. Everybody was looking around like, all right, what are we gonna do now?
Mhm.
And with this team, even though we've got Lewandowski and he's the guy, he's not out there scoring 5 goals like he was for Bayern.
No.
I feel like everyone's getting involved. And then this game, we saw Koundé give that French connection pass to Dembele, and that was beautiful to see. And I hope
Yeah.
to see that more.
Yeah.
It's really nice to see.
Okay, but one
Yo.
question. Do you guys think that Xavi's gonna stick with Koundé as a right back? Because
He's
he's been
what-
he's been doing
Absolutely.
phenomenal, bro. Like,
Here's
have
what
you
I
seen
said.
him?
Here's what I said at the start of the stream. Conde has openly stated that he is a center back. Okay, if you want to do that, then play crappy right back. But if you're showing that you're playing good right back, you're not gonna be taken away from right back.
Listen,
Okay,
man,
see,
I
but
don't
you have
think- I don't think
Christensen as
any
well in
player-
that center back spot.
That's what I'm saying. So if you
And
want to play center back, just play bad at right back
Look,
because
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't care who you are. No player is ever too big to have a position change.
Yeah.
Players like Ronaldo have done it. Messi has done it. They at different times in their career. I think Conde, for what we're getting right now, he's doing good at right back. But what's gonna happen is we're gonna get a better right back. We're gonna get an actual right back. Conde's
We're
gonna,
getting Serginho Dest back, bro. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
we're gonna get an actual right back, and he's gonna play center back along with Araujo, and Christensen and him are gonna have to rotate. And I think that's a good problem to have.
No, because like once again, when next season we're actually gonna be challenging for multiple titles, and hopefully making a deep run in the Champions League, we're gonna need depth in all areas.
Right.
And this is like a good problem to have. This is something that you want to have. Who do you play in the center back position? But guys, that was it for today's episode. As always, I post a link on Twitter. If any of you guys want to join, just basically like join into the discussion, you're always welcome to. And once again, just like Kenny, if what's it called, and you guys want to join, you're always welcome to. As always, like, subscribe, and comment, guys. We'll see you guys all on the next episode. Peace out, guys.